Hello YouTube, Jojo here, and welcome to another Infiltrator video. So today, I'm going to be looking at the age-old question of automatic scout rifles versus SMGs. Now, for a long time in PlanetSide 2, this was a very easy choice as automatic scout rifles were completely useless. However, quite a while ago now, they got an update and they are now very viable weapons. So I thought I'd give you guys just an insight into the differences and which one would be better for you. So on the screen now, you should be seeing the stats for the Stalker Scout Rifle for the NC, as well as the Cyclone SMG, also available to the NC. And these are the two weapons I'm mostly going to be using for my comparison, simply because they're good representatives of their weapon type, and I can't incorporate every single SMG in the game into this video. So when we start looking at the stats, you'll notice the Cyclone has a much higher damage per bullet in close quarters than the Stalker does. However, the rate of fires are the same. This usually isn't the same between SMGs, as most of the time an SMG will have a higher rate of fire and lower damage. However, the Cyclone is a little different as it is an NC weapon. If you continue to look at the damage, however, at longer ranges, the Cyclone drops incredibly quickly down to 100 damage. However, the Stalker loses very little damage and very slowly, so it's still going to be effective out at longer range. The PlanetSide 2 weapon damage analyzer graph that I have put up on your screen now perfectly demonstrates how this translates into time to kill over range. You can clearly see that at closer ranges, the Cyclone completely dominates the Stalker. However, after about 20 meters, the Stalker really takes over. Please take into account, however, that this graph is based on the average player's 30% accuracy, no nanoweave armor, and no headshots, so it may be a little different to what you will see in game. Continuing to look at bullets, both weapons have a fairly similar reload time with about half a second difference between the two at most. However, the big difference in this category is the mag size. Although on paper they have quite similar mag sizes between 24 and 25 bullets, the Cyclone can equip an extended mag, bumping it up to 35 rounds per mag. This is a huge advantage over the Stalker, as the Stalker's very small 24 round mag means that you've got to make your shots count or you're screwed in close quarters. The Stalker, however, does have an advantage when it comes to reserve ammo, as it has a considerably higher ammo pool than the Cyclone. And the final stat that really matters for this video is, of course, the muzzle velocity. True to form, the Cyclone has a much lower muzzle velocity than the Stalker, and this should really be obvious, as the Cyclone is an incredibly close quarters weapon. So now that I have gone over the stats, I'm just going to go into a bit of a more realistic account of how each weapon performs in game, as well as its pros and cons. So starting with the Cyclone, its big number one feature is that it is incredibly powerful at putting damage out in close quarters. This is especially helped by the fact that in close quarters, you're going to have your barrel in your enemy's face, so the average player's 30% accuracy isn't really going to be very true for you, so you'll be more likely to get time to kills of well under a second. Another huge advantage of the Cyclone is its hip fire, as especially when you, like me, run it with a laser sight, you can just hip fire any target, and it means you can be much more mobile in close quarters and much harder to hit. However, the huge downside of the Cyclone is it's lacking longer range capabilities. Now, I don't mean incredibly long range, I'm just talking about close to mid range, where even at ranges that really aren't that far, you'll find yourself being totally outgunned by everybody on the field, as you simply cannot output enough damage past about 20 meters to compete with most other weapons. And that is sadly all there really is to say about SMGs. They're great at close quarters, not so great at mid-range. However, now I'm going to be talking about the scout rifles, as I feel they have a lot more in them once you start looking at them quite deeply. So, right off the bat, you should be noticing that a big con of the scout rifles is their much lower close quarters ability compared to that of an SMG. And this is true to a certain extent. In close quarters, an SMG will serve you much better than a scout rifle is. However, this isn't to say that scout rifles can't be good in close quarters, as I'm sure you'll see in all the footage here. With a scout rifle, if you can aim at your enemy's head and be consistently accurate, although you have to work harder, you can still be very powerful in close quarters and still completely dominate the competition. And playing like this can really show off one of the scout rifle's real strengths, and that's the fact that they're so controllable, meaning that at about the 20-meter range or a bit further or a bit closer, if you, in a head-on confrontation with someone, are the first to fire and you've got your crosshair on the head, often you'll be able to get kills before they're even able to get a shot on you, because it's just so fast and so easy to keep your crosshair right over their head and just mow them down. Another big strength of the auto scouts is their versatility, as they provide just a little bit more capability out to slightly further ranges than SMGs do. Now, they're not long range weapons, but they are good. They can really allow you to just have a little bit more power inside of base fights. So you'll find that in situations where an SMG would have let you down, you'll still be able to consistently hold your own with an auto scout. As I've already said, auto scouts are quite let down in the mag size department. And this is because at slightly longer ranges against shielded heavies especially, you can find that if you just miss a couple of shots, maybe 5 or 6, you will not have enough damage in your mag to fully kill an enemy, and this can be really frustrating. And that is pretty much all that I have to say about the auto scouts. Now, just to conclude, SMGs are very good in close quarters, but will sort of lack out past the 20-meter mark. However, auto scouts are not quite as good in close quarters. However, if you're willing to put the effort in, they can still be very capable weapons, and they provide a lot more versatility out to ranges. Hopefully this has been able to help you choose which one you prefer. I know for me personally, it's an auto scout every time. However, you are free to draw your own conclusion. Thank you for watching, guys. If you found this video helpful or informative, or maybe you just enjoyed it, please feel free to give it a like. If you have any thoughts on what I've been saying, or just on how the video is put together in general, please leave a comment. I'd love to know what you guys think. And finally, if you want to help support the channel as well as see more content as I get it out, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye from Jojo.